Hey, thanks everybody for joining. Tonight we're going to talk about the spiritual pyramid, the spirituality maturity pyramid compared to the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And as always, we're going to start with our beliefs. Um, our beliefs. I'm going to start sharing my screen. Number one, the absolute truth does not exist, but truths are approximations to the truth, since everything is relative. The only truth is you, since we're all different versions of God. We're all the creators of our own reality, and love is the only rule. If we do a retrospective, the absolute truth does not exist, then I'm respecting others' truths because my truth is only mine and not everyone's truth. If I say I have to trust myself, I'm loving myself. So that's love. Number three, if I take responsibility and accountability of my current conditions as the creator of my reality, then I'm stopping of blaming others, and that's showing love to others. Stop blaming. Now, our trademark is eternal love and has this infinite cycle. And if you go to John 3:17, actually, First John 4:8, 8 is like similar to the infinity, and is in that versicle you can see that whoever does not love has not come to know God, because God is love. So this is the infinite God and the infinite. God is love. So going back to the topic, this is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. In the physiological aspect, we need to breathe, we need food, we need water, sleep, sex, homeostasis, and excretion. Then safety, security of the body, employment, resources. Next one is love and sexual intimacy. The next one is esteem, self-esteem, and that's related to love as the only rule. Then confidence and achievements, respect from others, and respect toward others. And then the next level is self-actualization of self-realization. In the pyramid of the spirituality, the self-realization is not the highest level of enlightenment or the highest level of maturity or contentment. Actually, it's in the middle, it's halfway. And interestingly, the next one is narcissism. Narcissism is self-love, self-esteem. The dark psychology associates self-esteem to an aberration or mental illness, which is actually the opposite. Self esteem is the solution to all mental issues. Mental health is self love. We have to love our body, love our spirit, and love our mind. It's keeping the balance between the trinity of our essence. Our essence is made of body, mind, and spirit. Loving the tree and keeping balance of the tree is essential for our well-being. So if we put these different aspects of our human nature, body, mind, and spirit, we can also um, allocate them in the different stages of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So our body needs food, exercise, sleep, excretion, sex. Our mind needs education, knowledge, understanding, challenges, insight. Our spirit needs love, give and receive love, empathy, affiliation, trust, respect, fairness, affiliation, a purpose, hope, a belief. So yoga and meditation really help the two The three aspects: help the body, help the mind, and help the spirit. Those two spiritual technologies really can enhance anybody's life. Now, the balance between the Trinity is attained with self-esteem, self-love, and also with meditation that is a structure, not any kind of meditation. It should be a very structured meditation that you can develop over time. It's not the same for everybody, but is the basics is very applicable for the great majority of the people. Now, we're going to talk about the narcissism and how to love yourself. A narcissism is individual who has accepted all aspects of itself and had fell in love with her himself. There's nothing bad about falling in love with yourself. There's nothing bad about it. Love is perfect, and we're gonna see it. That's in the Bible. So at this stage, the person is incapable of feeling hate, jealousy, and negative emotions. Now, here in the Bible, if you read the Psalms 139, 14, 139, 14, verse 14, King David says, I praise you because in a way, I praise you because in awe-inspiring way, I'm wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, I know this very well. He accepted, he was aware that he was beautifully and wonderfully made. So that's an example of self-esteem, appreciating our body, our mind, and our spirit. Now, 1 Corinthians 13:4 through 8. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous, does not brag, does not get puffed up, does not behave indecently, does not look for its own interest, does not become provoked, does not keep account of injury, does not rejoice over unrighteousness, but rejoices with the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. You see that? And again, the number 8 and the word love is the eternally and the love, eternal love. Here again is the same pattern, infinite and the love. That's why we chose our trademark, eternal love. Now, love never fails. And love starts within ourselves. It does not something that starts outside, something that we feel in our insides, and we have to start loving ourselves. And loving ourselves is the key for getting to the next level above self-realization, because God is love and God is inside you. In the Greek mythology, Narcissus was a god who fell in love with himself. You do the same. There's nothing wrong about loving yourself endlessly. Love never fails. Now, how to love myself. Here's some guidelines, and maybe it might vary from person to person, but this is a very good advice of about how to love yourself, how to love myself. One, never lie to yourself. Number two, don't be jealous. Number three, be strong. Number four, focus on self-development and don't reject others. So we're going to explain one by one. Never lie to yourself, because that's self-cheating and self-sabotage. Accepting your weaknesses, your strengths, accept your past, because that's what makes you what you are today. Accepting even the worst experience in your life, understanding that experience and how it contributes to what you are today. Number two, don't be jealous. Don't worry about finding people better than you or than us. We find people better than us all the time, more intelligent, more talented, more creative, with more money, looking happier. We find people better than us all the time. So we shouldn't be worried. That would be a waste of time or energies worrying about it. Admire those qualities forever instead. Don't worry about surviving, but in living instead. There's no enemy, there's no forces influencing you. There's no need for survival. Survival is predatory instinct at some point. It's not for the society or a civilization. Now, next one is be so strong. Be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind. Understand before reacting. And if you think that your negative emotions are getting out of control, disconnect. There's a specific meditation technique for you to disconnect. This is essentially is disconnecting from all forces and and going to another place. You can just try it. Every time you feel you're losing control, that the emotions are taking control over your life, disconnect, because that way you can protect your brain from the predatory instincts or the false ego. So when something makes you fearful, angry, feeling discomfort, negative emotions are an indicator that dark psychology is controlling you. If you feel emotions you don't want to feel, is because something else is taking control over you. So negative emotions should be prevented, and you have to understand the negative emotions is something that we have to do. Understanding is necessary. Don't really prevent them, understand them. But if you really think that you're getting out of the control, do the disconnection technique. Now, next one, focus on self-development. Um, when you focus on yourself in your own self-development, you stop blaming, stop criticism, stop looking outside, but starting in intrinsic criticism or self reflection. That way you can learn to enhance your understanding, your knowledge, your abilities. Don't close your eyes to anything that is informative, because knowledge is power, and that power is something that you will be granting to yourself as a reward. So that will help you create better versions of yourself. We're always doing that, creating better versions of ourselves. So if we focus on that rather than in the defects of others or what others have to improve, you know, that's also a waste of time and efforts focusing on others improvement. We have to focus in ourselves and love ourselves. Now, next one, don't reject others. Rejection is harmful two ways. If, for example, if I reject somebody, I might feel bad because of that, because we don't want to feel that an opportunity is going away, or because we're gonna make somebody feel discomfort or grief, or so if we're rejected as well, we feel um, discomfort, and is a negative emotion, the feel of rejection. So we don't have to reject others unless we have to protect our safety, our confidentiality, or our finances. If there's no need for protecting safety, confidentiality, or finances, there's no reason for rejecting. Rejection is harmful to both ways, back and forth. So non-protecting boundaries might might lead to also self-sabotage, losing opportunities. Boundaries are not necessary if you're not really protecting yourself. Non-protective boundaries are made by our false ego, and that's self-sabotage. So this is how we can love ourselves and become true narcissists. When you fall in love with yourself, you accept everything to make yourself better and strong, and focusing on making creating better versions of ourselves, loving ourselves more and more and more without limit, and respecting others at the same time. Now, um, This is the pyramid of spirituality, showing some balance and the rest of the layers. We can go into more detail later. This is what I wanted to present tonight. I hope this being um, a good time for us in reviewing these aspects of the spirituality and our psychology and our needs as human beings. Thank you for watching, and thank you for being here for us. Thank you.